Aligning your business with your purpose. How to stay true to your spiritual values and what you really care about. Hi, I'm Lucy Griffiths, and one of the big things for me on this entrepreneurial adventure has been, how do I stay true to that purpose and that vision that I had in the very beginning of my business journey? And I was someone who I was working as a journalist, and I was working in a lot of difficult situations, and I had a real mission and purpose as a journalist. And I was, I really felt like I was making a difference and telling stories that really mattered. And so when it came to being a journalist, I was like, this doesn't feel the same. I don't have that same vision and mission and purpose. And it took me a long time to realize that I was helping people, but in a different way. And so you might feel like, yeah, I love what I do, but I don't feel completely connected to it. And so what I want you to really do, first of all, is think about those connections. How can you connect into what you do and what you love and what you're most passionate about? And sometimes it's a case of remembering what you wanted when you first started out, when you had that little nugget of an idea of a business. What was it that you wanted to do? How did you want to make that impact? How did you want to change the world? And I was on a mission to change the world and impact lives. And I really, sometimes when I feel disconnected from that, I don't enjoy my business so much. So I really try and go back and reconnect with that passion, that vision, that momentum that I had, and that motivation of why I set up my business. I also set up my business because I wanted to be there for my son. I wanted to create a life for him. And my life has shifted. When I was doing all that other stuff, and I was working in difficult countries and navigating difficult stories and human rights issues and all of those things, yes, it was making a massive impact and difference in the world. And it was kind of quite global. But at the same time, I didn't feel like it was possible for me to do that and also successfully be a parent and show up in the way that I wanted to for my son. So my world kind of shrank in many ways. It shrank because I wanted to sort of go into my motherhood bubble, but I still wanted a career. And so maybe for you, you feel like there's this conflict between you and what you want to do, in your career, but also what you want to do like within your life, within caring responsibilities you may have for elderly parents or for your children. And so it is constantly that battle between the two things, and there is an oscillation. But I think if you can get really clear on that vision and that purpose, it helps you to center yourself and remember why you're doing this. And so sometimes when you get off course, you can get blown off course because you get busy, because you're tied up in doing other things, that this can recenter you. And this can remind you why you show up, why you do the things that you do. And it's really important to reconnect with that. The other thing that I do on a daily basis is meditation. And so when I meditate, when I really go within, and I do this I have a practice that I use from Gabrielle Bernstein, and it's about 10 minutes every morning, and I'll do meditation and breath work and then journaling. And I'll just write this stream of consciousness that comes from the meditation. And that really helps me to connect to spirit and stay on purpose. And what I found from doing that is that I will have this kind of download of ideas. And when I follow those ideas, when I'm doing those ideas, they are so much more powerful. And I never question, I never have that self-doubt. Because otherwise, when I'm just kind of doing things because my ego wants me to do it, because I'm like, I should be doing this thing, because you see this sparkly thing of like, do this thing because everyone else is doing this thing. And you go off and you do it. I should be doing more TED Talks or whatever it may be. And at that moment when you're, that's the ego wanting to chase that glossy thing. I should be, whatever it is the should tells you to do. We can get sidetracked and distracted by the should rather than when we're in the still and the quiet of what our purpose is, what that thing is that we really want to do with our life. And when we're in that still zone, then we knock out the noise. We knock out the kind of keeping up with the Joneses and the ego attachment to things. And we go back to what we're really about, like what really matters. And, you know, whether it's caring for your family or just changing the world in your small, quiet way. And by doing that, you can have a really big impact. You can change people's lives and make a huge difference without feeling like that conflict between chasing the big, like, oh, I'm huge and I'm doing this thing, and also what the stillness and the quietness wants. And so go within, journal, listen to that voice within, so you stay on your mission, you stay on your purpose without feeling conflicted and having to chase all the spangly like sequins and stardust and whatever it may be. Rather, it's actually what you really want and what your heart is yearning for. I find this really helps me. And if I have a meditation that I'll share below, and one of the things that I think really helps me keep me on track throughout the year is having a vision board, so I know where I am, what I want, and what my purpose is. And I'll share a link to that below so you can see what is on your vision board, what is the things that you most want in your life. And when you're connected to that, it's so much easier to make decisions and go with that flow of what you really, truly want. So I'll share those links below. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, and I'd love to see you again soon. Take care. Bye, bye, bye.